When I was a little kid, around 13 years old, I went on a trip with my parents to England, and I saw all the arms and armor and the knights and all that stuff and the swords, and so I wanted it so bad. So when we came back home, I just cobbled together a blacksmithing kit from Kingsford charcoal and a galvanized steel bucket, and just started bashing away on things. With knife making, I am just about 100% self-taught. It's been mostly self-taught with some little spurts of amazing knowledge put in there. I have taken some classes, especially from a really amazing blacksmith, Mark Asbury, and learned a whole lot. I really enjoy making knives and swords that function as they're supposed to, feel good in your hand, yet are as artistic as I can push the art. I really like learning more new techniques and things that I can bring into the art and really just push boundaries and have fun. You can make a knife-shaped object and you can make it really pretty, and you can learn engraving, and you can learn all sorts of fun stuff, chasing and repoussé, and then you can start learning about the metallurgy, and you can learn about the science of it and the composition of the steels and what steel is good for what and how to treat it for what you want it to do. And you also need to make it feel good in your hand, so it has to be artsy yet also ergonomic. And so there's so much to it that I enjoy.
So how did you get involved in the AACB?
Buzz sent me an email and asked if I wanted to come down and do this. And so, yeah, it's amazing. This group is phenomenal. Blacksmiths in general tend to be really nice, generous people. But this group in particular is just so much fun, and I really enjoyed my time here.
Can you tell me a little bit about, I don't want to spend the whole interview talking about Forge and Fire, but maybe a little bit.
Sure, yeah. So when it comes to Forge and Fire, at the time I was teaching at a blacksmithing school in Los Angeles. So I was doing that, and I was existing in that community. And one day I got an email from one of the directors saying, hey, there's this casting call for this weird new show, Forge and Fire. And I had already seen all of season 1, so I knew exactly what she was talking about. And so she said, here, just go to this website and fill out the details. A day or two later, I got a phone call from one of the producers saying, hey, we'd like to have a Zoom interview and see if you're mad or not. And like a day later, I got a phone call like, all right, you're coming up. You'll be coming to Brooklyn in December, and you're going to be on the show. I was so excited. It was so cool. Then a couple of months later, they invited me back for a Champion of Champions competition. I knew I wasn't going to win this thing. These guys were all full-time bladesmiths, and I was an engineer at Caltech doing this on the side. And I went in and ended up winning, and it was ridiculous. And so I thought that was the end. And then I was on vacation in Belgium, and I got this phone call, a number I didn't recognize. I answered it, and he said, hey, this is Paul Hogan. I'm the executive producer of Forge and Fire. Jay Nielsen needs a little time off. Can you come and judge for a couple of episodes? Yeah, man, absolutely. Are you kidding me? This is amazing. Then I asked some time off of work, went and did a couple episodes, and then Paul was like, they're adding 10 more episodes. Can you stay? It was crazy, but it was really fun. And then my life made all sorts of weird changes, and they asked me if I want to be the judge full time, and I was like, yep, it's time to leave California.
How do you feel about the impact that Forge and Fire has had on blacksmithing as a whole?
So the impact of Forge and Fire on blacksmithing has been twofold depending on who you talk to. If you talk to an old timer, they'll tell you that we just made anvils too expensive. And if you talk to a kid, they'll be like, well, this is why I started. I think it's grown the community a lot. A rising tide floats all ships. One thing that I get every now and then, this like big burly dude come up to me and just like grab me by the shoulder and look me in the eye and like, brother, you saved my life. Blacksmithing goes really hand in glove with helping people with PTSD, and it gives them a task to achieve. They have the task. They have to focus on the hot metal, or else they get through the task and they have a thing, and it's really good for them psychologically. And it has happened more than once that somebody has said, because of the show, he took a class, and because of the class, he's changed his life. I am involved with 2 different other kinds of competitions. One is called Cast in Steel, which is a competition that is taking college students and giving them a thing that they need to cast in steel, and they have to find an industry partner. We've had them make axes and knives and swords and hammers and all this kind of stuff that they pour. And what's great about it is they're collaborating with each other, and they're meeting each other, and they're becoming friends, and they're all amongst like-minded individuals, and it's technological, and it's fun, and there's engineering involved, and there's science involved, and there's all sorts of great stuff. So it's really become a career path for these kids going through college, and it's been amazing. So it's been going on for 8 years now, and I've been a judge at it from the beginning, and it's just so much fun to be there and be around these kids and be part of it, you know. And the same thing where there's the forging version of that. I have a website, it's ashgroveforge.com, and I also have Instagram.
Do you have any advice for a new and aspiring blacksmith or bladesmith?
My advice for both blacksmithing and bladesmithing is to find a teacher. Find somewhere you can go and try it out. Go take a class somewhere. There's schools all around these days. There's blacksmithing, there's bladesmithing, there's all that good stuff. If you learn the way I learned, you'll still be learning at 54 and not a master of anything. You're just kind of muddling through everything, you know. But if you really concentrate and you have a teacher, then I think you could really head up by leaps and bounds.